for right here, right now. It's round 3, the WK Posse Track and Excavator Hire Southern Street Stock Series. Folks, for those that have turned out, we got the show in. We're about to get the final event in. Thank you for turning up. Those watching at home at Claverview, turn it up. Crack another fruffy responsibly, because it's about to get a little bit out of control. 30 laps a journey for round 3 of the Southern Street Stock Series. On his outside, Jenkins, Flatman, Kinnear, Garner, that's just a few. Here we go, Mount Gambier, round 3, racing. Well, Peter Kidney is not. He hasn't gone anywhere off the start as one of 30 busy laps begins. Oh, Peter Kinnear's on the infield. He's out of this one as well. We're down to 18 cars, and we're not even a lap in. Kerry Weston, 1 lap down, 29 to go, and it's the pensioner out in front leading as Drew Flatman gets by the national champion Anthony Bear in the Mitsubishi Magna. Back then to Jenkins. Oh, Barry's drifted high out of 2. Thought he was nearly going to get the wall. A lot of errors under the car at the time as well. He's battling there with Jenkins. A bit of a push aboard the 46 at the moment as Jenkins now goes to the inside of the 46. Behind them, Blomley and Garner are battling it out for 5th. Oh, Barry, a big push. And Anthony Bear, boy oh boy, we nearly saw the man hit the wall. Garner's in 5th. Back then to Blomley, Watsy, Stevie G, and Josh Davey. Back then to Ellen Vag and the 87 of Jaden Edwards trying to get under the Simpson 12 now. It's a battle back between Brian Brown and Hayden Jolly, as well as Scott Merritt further back in the pack as Kinnear pulls infield. 26 laps to go and Weston is out in front. Flatman second, back then to Jenkins. Anthony Bear working the car and Drew Flatman as well. As they run down the back stretch, they'll have 22 laps to go next time by. So it's Weston, Flatman, here comes Anthony Bear, Stephen Hardy pulling infield here on the front stretch. The top 3 are pretty tight. Back then to Jenkins, the 4 in 4th, Blomley, Watts, Stephen Gardner, Thomas Garner. The B38 of Josh Davey, Jaden Edwards, Brian Brown, Scott Merritt, back then to Dennis Knowles, Hayden Jolly and Ellen Vag. Then it's back to the B36 of Ron Davey making the A, and the 94 machine of Patrick Hall. That is your race order. They're all on the lead lap. And your race leaders are right behind them. Here comes Bear. Tags the Magna, says, hello, young player. I am right here. Drew Flatman, your race leader, with 20 to go on the way into 1. And they're about to hit a wall of lap traffic. Mind you, that wall of lap traffic is battling hard for their respective positions. 19 laps to go. Flatman, Weston and Bear. Weston to your race leader. Oh, Flatman around the outside. Have a look at this. Drew Flatman around the outside. Tries to move the lap car. Nearly gets a fence. Drew Flatman out in front. Weston second. Jenkins to the top side. Has a moment. Bear's in there as well. And here comes Blomley, Watsy and Stevie G. Race leader is Drew Flatman. We've got 18 laps to go here at Mount Gambier. He leads out of turn 2 past the corporate boxes. Barry's to the outside of Kerry Weston now. In front of them, Davey and Hall are into it. And Bear comes through. Has to back out for the lap car. Drew Flatman will continue to lead. It's getting squeezy on the front stretch. Weston second. They're going to go inside. They're going to go outside of the lap car. There's an absolute wall in front of them. It's racy. It's pacey. And it's Flatman, Weston, Bear and Jenkins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right behind them is Blomley, Stephen Gardner and Stephen Watts. Flatman, Bear to the outside of the lap cars now. It's an absolute show here at Mount Gambier. We're only a few laps from turning them around and going the other way, but Bear slid into the lead. Bear now leads Flatman. Back then to Weston. Bear stuck in the middle between a few lap cars. It'll be 15 down, 15 to go this time by. And Bear will lead on the direction change. Flatman still second. Back then to Jenkins, Blomley, Weston, Stephen Gardner and Stephen Watts. And it's all happening on the turn 2 exit. Ellen Vega, slower cars out of shape. The field races down. And this should be the caution lap to turn them around. Bear. There we go. We were just waiting for the last car to get across the line. Hayden Jolly. 15 laps has gone quite quickly. There's a bumper half of one in turn 1. There's a few bits of fiberglass out of turn 4. And the first 15 laps have zoomed through. And the next 15 are going to be an absolute treat as well. Drew Flatman, 15 on track. There's 15 to go and it's round 3. We're back underway. Bear gets a jump. 2 or 3 car. Oh, look out, Watsy's driven straight into the back of Stephen Gartner, corner entry. Thomas Garner's had to balk and he keeps it together, but Jaden Edwards drives straight past him. None of Tom's doing there. One down after the restart, 14 to go, and Bear leads by 5 car lengths on Drew Flatman. Back then to Jenkins in third, Blomley in fourth, Western under fire from Stephen Gartner now. Stephen Watts back there as well. Jaden Edwards, Thomas Garner, Josh Davey, Brian Brown, Scott Merritt, Patrick Hall, Dennis Knowles and Ellen Vag. That's your field. Anthony Bear's out by a straightaway. The battle truly is for second back. Flatman second. Dean Jenkins in third. Back then to Blomley and Kerry Weston. Stevie G's in there as well. Watts, as Blomley goes high, allows Kerry Weston through. In fact, Blomley fairly out of shape, loses 2 spots that time. As Bear leads. Straightaway gap still on Drew Flatman in second in the Mitsubishi Magna. Edwards. Further back, Patrick Hall was having a moment while Jaden Edwards was starting to look to the tail of Stephen Watts. But first and second are well spread out. Bear is straightaway ahead of Drew Flatman. Flatman with a good gap back on the battle for third, which is heading up as we speak. Weston, Jenkins, Gartner and Blomley. Kerry Weston in third. Back then to Stephen. Bear, Flatman, Weston, Gartner, Edwards racing. Bear gets a jump once again. Heading into 1 and 2. Bear down the back stretch, leads by 3 car lengths from the word go. Weston and Flatman going at it. Weston to the inside of Flatman. Weston into the inside of Flatman. Contact. They make it out the other side, and Flatman's now going to be under charge from Gartner. Edwards, they all balk on the way into turns 1 and 2. Thomas Garner's in there as well as Brian Brown. As they settle it down just a tad, as they rush through the front stretch. 4 laps to go for your race leader, Anthony Bear. Back then to Kerry Weston. Gap back then to Drew Flatman. Stephen Gartner, Jaden Edwards, Jaden Blomley, Stephen Watson. Absolutely quality field here on track. Second now. Third is still Flatman. With company from Stephen Gartner. Back then to Jaden Edwards, Jaden Blomley and Stephen Watts. But Anthony Bear goes across the line. White flag's out this time by. He's got half a lap to go. Back then to Weston. The battle for third's on. Stephen Gartner tries the outside. Flatman down the middle. Edwards on the inside. Meanwhile, Bear wins. Bear wins ahead of Weston. Third is the pick though. Who's going to get it? Flatman inside. Gartner on the outside, and Stephen Gartner's going to race a third. Fourth will be Flatman and fifth Edwards.